Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you out to our regular board meeting, July 16, 2026, at our water location, 8085 West, 3500 South. I'd like to call this to order. So helping us out today with this meeting is Ty Quinn, Dallas Headlines, Steve Clark, Andrew Sumption, Jeff White, myself, Mick Sudbury, Danny Stewart, Leo Fitzgerald, legal counsel Nathan Bracken, and our general manager Clint Dilly. I want to welcome everybody out. Will everybody join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Does anybody here today have a public comment they'd like to address the board? Okay, see none. Does anybody here have a conflict that's on our agenda today? Okay, let's moving on. So approval of common consent items.
Minutes of the regular board meeting held June 11, 2026. Minutes of the special board meeting held June 18, 2026. Expenses from June 4th to July 7, 2026. General expenses, $1,817,797.06. Signs bank bond payment, $51,980.83.
I'll second it.
It's been motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're going to move on to department reports. Clint?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you got the GM report in there, as usual, I'll highlight a few items. If there's any questions, let me know. Staffing, all of our positions are currently staffed and have been for a while, so we're in a good position there, knock on wood. Water operations, I did want to highlight, we did have issues again along 35th, primarily on the secondary system. We found that we need more aggressive flushing even after the startup. We think we've got some pockets where maybe more like a dead end, some dead zones is what we're finding. Yeah. So one of the things that we did this year, which I'm really excited about, we had purchased a hydrant flushing box. Steve was using that and he's like, I can't get enough flow through this. I wonder if I could come up with something better. He's really handy with fabricating. And I want to show you what he ended up fabricating, and it's working out great. Steve, maybe you can tell him a little bit about it.
Yeah, so with the other one, like you said, we couldn't get the flows to really scour the pipe good enough. So the other one, you'd try to turn it up too much and it'd kind of just walk around the road.
Yeah, I know, like a snake.
Yeah, and so this
And it was standalone, it was just sitting on.
yeah, it's pretty teetery, and so I thought if we built one that we could just put it right in the hitch of the truck.
I like that.
And the nice thing is it also helps kind of keep it confined to the gutter, so we're not making a mess of it.
It doesn't go all over the road.
Yeah, so it actually worked out pretty good.
And you,
What's that?
I told him he needs to, but
Yeah, you better put your name on that fast.
pretty cool. And so you might see them out there more frequently throughout the year, we think.
People think that's gas coming out the back.
I seen it up on my street. It looked really, really good.
So wanted to make the board aware of that.
Awesome,
Thanks Steve for he's handy. He built the trailer, all of that emergency trailer, all of the connections and the pump and pipe work and
Water tank.
on the water tank. Steve is handy with in all kinds of ways, concrete work, welding. We're lucky to have him.
Yes, we are.
We are. He's real handy.
The sanitary survey, Their Division of Drinking Water does that every couple years.
Every 3 years we have to do it. They come through and check everything, make sure, everything's up to par. So we had our first meeting yesterday. She's gonna come out Monday and Wednesday to go through all the facilities. So,
Okay.
Pretty extensive.
yeah.
Is it a different person now?
Yes, this lady hasn't ever done it before, so,
So it might be something a little,
yeah, we'll see how it goes, but she seems pretty good talking to her over the phone, so.
on
We'll see.
site's a lot different.
Yeah, we'll see.
The Haynes well number 2 that we've had issues with, we've got some additional sampling, some specific sampling that gives us more information completed. Steve's getting some quotes, bids for pulling the pump and the video camera. And this, we think there's a problem potentially with the surface seal.
So are we gonna do a new well on number 8? Like,
Yeah, number 8's underway with a,
so that'll be like 20 feet away or something?
it's within, is it 100, I think it has to be within 150 feet. What would you estimate it to be?
They're probably 25 feet from the building right now. You're talking the old number 8, right?
Yeah, the old
new
well and the new one.
Yeah, so the
The
new
new
one,
one
they're
or the old
putting
one?
like 25 feet from the old number 8 that we're
Okay.
replacing. The number 2 that he's talking about, that's the one that we had bad samples.
So we're trying to investigate.
So what, you have to dig around it and put a new concrete seal around it, or?
We won't really know until we actually get it cameraed to find out if that's actually the
To
problem.
look, so the casing will rot or something, it could create a problem?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few different things that it could be, so once we get the camera, we'll have a good idea.
Don't we have a camera we can shove down there?
No, but Gavin's pretty skinny, we could shimmy him.
We have done more extensive PFAS sampling that the state wanted us to do on all of the sources. We have found that it's really isolated to one of our wells,
Dang, 7.
pretty much. It's still below any potential future MCL, but they did want to meet and talk about options if we did want to pursue treatment in the future. So we'll be meeting with them to talk through that and see what they have to say.
So do we ever, I know it's sort of pretty big, but do we ever put a casing down and put gravel around it? Do we ever do that?
As far as doing it ourselves?
No. Do we ever put a PVC casing down and then put gravel around it so that if the casing's kind of rotted and stuff, do we ever do that?
Yeah, that's kind of how they're all set up.
All of them are drawn through a perforated PVC liner?
It's still on the actual casing.
Oh, it's still?
Yeah. But yeah.
So on a steel casing, I had an old one, it was done in 53. Then we put a perforated PVC liner down and then put gravel between the steel and the PVC.
Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't have any more problems with contamination or rust or, other than what was in the water.
Yeah.
But I'm only 390 feet deep and you're like, what, 360?
It varies. We got them anywhere from like 120, and I think this new one's going to 400.
Okay. And yours are about that big.
On the wastewater side, Dallas and Steve's been working together, but kind of spearheaded by Dallas on the reuse water. Part of that is making sure we're providing the best water quality, and he's been looking at chlorination options and cycling of the reservoir levels to ensure that we keep the water age and as much chlorine as we can to keep any issues down in that secondary water. So they've been working through that, and I think that's going to be helpful going forward. He'll talk about the RAT and the acoustical inspection. One thing I wanted to let the board know, we met as a team with ET Technologies. They came out to our office, and we finally are getting some answers on what's happening.
You mean at the
So,
new site?
yeah, so they've confirmed they are moving. They've, Dallas probably can speak to this a little better than me. Do you want to give them a heads up on that?
When we met with them, they did confirm the date that they're closing and the proposed date that they're opening. There should be a loss in service. It's closed December 31st, open the new one January 1st.
Oh.
And they have finalized the location. It's out there by Madcorp. They're just working through the permitting process now. So once you get off the freeway though, to the facility, it's all paved, which is a bonus for us. We weren't sure if we were gonna be going dirt roads or what, but
Sounds like the site's gonna be much safer, much smoother,
it looks
right?
like, we saw some of the tentative plans, and it looks really good. Now that we've got that confirmation, our team is looking at hauling equipment needs, we're working with Leal on personnel needs and costs. And see what
So was we going, I thought we were gonna kind of go out and see what it's gonna cost us to contract it out versus what we,
Yeah.
what we can do it for.
Yep, that's exactly right, Mr. Chairman. So what we wanna do is we wanna bring back a little bit of a report to the board, say this is what it would cost if we did it, these are some options if we hired it out, what makes the most sense for us.
Okay,
I think we'll save a lot of money if we use side dumpers instead of pushers.
That was one of our main concerns was, will the new facility, allow any type of truck? And they
Right.
said, there won't be, operations won't dictate which vehicles you can and can't bring. So
right.
Yeah, it's good news.
So do we know how, we should take a ride out there?
Yeah, we should as soon as,
Is it built yet?
no,
it's not built yet.
Yeah,
We're still
just
waiting
gotta
on
get
permits,
permit.
so right now you drive out there and just see dirt.
Right, but we'd have an idea how far out, right?
We
Oh,
have, we
yeah.
have an idea now.
Yeah, you can put in Rolly, it'll tell you exactly
Yeah.
how far.
It's about 60 miles. So,
quite a,
yeah, we've got a calculation that it's about 60% of an operator's full-time job would be dedicated to hauling.
okay. On the office side, we're just finalizing. We've got the policy on the agenda for discussion for the backup, sewer backup program. And then on the AMI data collection, we're actually installing the final pole today. So we'll have all of the towers set, and so that won't be a limitation on our data collection. So we're excited to be to that point. And then, it's not on here, but we did get, just this week, approval, grant money through Division of Water Resources, through their transparent billing grant, $26,000 that we can put towards this program. the
Great.
AMI. So that's exciting news. We'll bring that back in a future meeting. On coordination, communication, we have been working with the Great Salt Lake Commission. They're modeling the Great Salt Lake Basin. And so we've been providing them information on all our water use patterns. So I just want to make the board aware of that. They're trying to get a better handle on all the inputs and outputs, of the Great Salt Lake. I'm sure they're working with the legislature and the federal government to solve this problem, and I think that's one of the steps.
Since we dump into the surplus canal, then most of their discussion will be with Kennecott, won't it?
Yeah. We participated in the 4th of July parade. I thought that went well. Andrew will talk a little bit about that. We have worked with the city on some of the flyers that the city has. I think that's nice to partner together. The only thing that we would want to make sure the board is supportive of is, you could have a resident that we're not paying for any of the costs of the flyers. That's been provided by the city. You might have a resident in West Valley say, why am I getting a Magna flyer?
And I've had people say to me, why have we not got a magnifier?
Yeah, exactly. You
So
might have,
It works both ways.
exactly. I think it's a positive, but I just wanted to make sure, the board was aware of that. We haven't had any
I haven't heard any.
complaints. I think generally people appreciate more, like you said, more information. The earlier summer work hour changes, I think so far so good. Again, we haven't seen any increase in tardies. Actually, a decrease, it sounds like, through the summer. So that's positive. I don't know if the board has any feedback on that. But from staff side, I think that's working well. It has been exceptionally hot. We had a 109-degree day. So that does help. The CCR, the Consumer Confidence Report, has been completed and posted. And we've satisfied that requirement. It will go to every 6 months in the future. So rather than once a year, we're having, next year, we'll have to go every 6 months. So I just wanted to make sure you're aware of that. That's my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, Ty, let's turn it over to you for engineering report.
With our engineering report, so currently, what we're looking at, capital general engineering projects, 800 West, water line project, postponed to a later date, budgetary reasons, 2200 West the same. We have a big thing going on down there at Flint Pump Station, regret building, startup near end of July, I believe, actually, startup yesterday. Pump station, startup testing with the screw pumps, that went well, from what I understand. We're gonna continue setting manholes and other yard parking, we're gonna continue doing restoration work for the dugout and everything. Hanging goal number 8, as you saw, the pamphlet, we finished drilling the pilot hole as of, I believe, July 9th. Pump house design has been completed, and EPA is currently reviewing the application, and we'll continue on with that paperwork. Go forward with that. Westside collection, phase 1B, they're gonna start the fiber relocation mid to end of July. And after that, and I guess it'll take about 2 weeks to relocate that. After that, we're gonna start the borehole along SO2R1 at the end of July, beginning of August, or more so, beginning to middle of August. Westside collection phase 3 project, we're working towards 60% design submittal, had meetings with Kennecott and the Copper Club, working towards that. I believe we got, 60% design, we're going forward with that. The reuse operations and change house, finalizing contract documents for that. Zone 3 secondary water reservoir, pipeline reservoir done, completed. We're currently working on 4100 to be done until we can fill up that pump. And so it might not be till late to early August, late July to early August to get that done. They're currently working on the secondary element this week. Hopefully that will be done sooner rather than later.
Yeah, we're wanting that done fast.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I said the city's wanting that done fast.
City's chomping at the bit.
Yeah, they're almost, I have to check with Justin and Matt, but they're getting working on it.
Great.
11 copper service line replacement, we're nearing about 70% complete. We're primarily working on 850 West and 8900 West for those customer replacements. And also on that, Tempest is no longer Tempest, they're now BHI. So if you get a call about BHI, that's EDR finish feed tank design, we're at 90% design scheduled for August 1st. We'll review that, let you guys know how that's going. Master plan, working on rate analysis. I think they are scheduled to do that December, finish that up by December.
Yep.
Then for our general office conservation garden, plans are at 100% design, finalizing signage and plan to bid in July, and have a board item in August for the project.
Okay, great.
That is all for engineering.
Any question from the board? Okay, thank you. Okay, let's move on to water. Steve?
All right, thank you, Board and Chair. Culinary water production for the month of June, 217.45 million gallons, or 667.39 acre feet. That's a 11.36% decrease from 2025. Our year-to-date production for June was 814.58 million gallons, or 2,500.04 acre feet, and that's a 2.4% decrease from 2025. So far, year-to-date, we purchased 404.40 acre feet from Jordan Valley Water. The secondary water production for the month of June was 82.57 million gallons, or 253.41 acre feet. That's a 9.24% decrease from 2025. Year-to-date was 154.25 million gallons, or 473.40 acre feet. That's a 9.59% decrease from 2025. So going off these numbers, I think you can see that the community is really helping us out with our conservation campaign, which is nice.
Even as hot as it is, that's pretty
Helping
hot.
out big time, so.
But we've noticed a lot of people are letting their lawns just dry out. They're just not even, they're just cutting the dead weeds. So I don't know if they're,
Yeah, that's not great either.
Yeah.
well, a lot of people heard the thing from Jordan Valley, so they assumed that we were under the same thing. So they thought, well, we won't water. Then their lawns started to die and they thought, well, just mow the weeds once, maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
I don't know how we can get them back on. I don't know.
As far as the call-outs go, we had a total of 34. 23 of them were water, 11 were wastewater, for a total of 102 hours. 69 wells were water, 33 were wastewater. We had one main line leak, 2 service line leaks, and then 31 miscellaneous calls. One of the main line leak, I kind of wanted to give the guys a little bit of credit, was this big one right here on 8800 and 35th that we had. That was quite a leak. We had a lot of water, and they actually did a good job getting it shut off quick. And,
What caused it?
just the pipes.
The pipes were rotted or joint?
Yeah, it had a 2-foot crack in it, but it also had a hole blown out of the middle of the crack, so we were losing a lot of water.
And that's cast iron pipe or plastic?
That one's cast. But yeah, no, I just wanted to.
And you
Good
know,
thing, good thing the storm drains worked.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Clint. That,
well,
there was kids, I guess, on 8800. There was so much water going down the road that they were kayaking in the gutter.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
But the guys got it shut down pretty quick. So
they done a good job. Todd and Arden said what a good job they done down there and how nice the guys were and everything. They were real impressed, they said.
Thank you.
And to please Arden is a hard job. You know that.
but that's my report. Unless you have any other questions.
Any
Thank you.
questions? Nope. Thank you. Okay, Dallas?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I just want to go over the operations report. There's just a couple things to highlight. During June, the treatment plant produced 58 million gallons of reuse water that was pumped up to the system. The coordination with the water to try to maintain water quality at the reservoirs. A little more information on that. The balance we're trying to find is keeping a good chlorine residual at the reservoir without having too high of a chlorine residual at the first customers. So we're playing with different dosing rates and different times of dosing for that. But it's been a collaborative effort, and I think we're narrowing it in, so we're in a pretty good place. The plant's in really good shape. Everything remained within the permit throughout June. Routine sampling continued to reflect a pretty stable process, with no compliance issues observed. If we can go to the next thing, Mr. Chairman, I want to just give a summary of the wastewater collection system maintenance and the SL RAP assessment that was just done. The first slide here is just a quick reminder. So for this assessment summary, we're just highlighting that we use the CCTV equipment, that's there on the left. Obviously the Vector picture top right, and then maybe a little less familiar is the SL-RAP. It's a sewer line rapid assessment tool. It's two pieces of equipment, a transmitter and a receiver. It sends an acoustic signal through the main line, and any obstruction that obstructs that acoustic signal will come back, and you go from manhole to manhole, and at the end of the assessment, it provides a grade for each portion of the pipe that was assessed. You can go to the next one, Zach.
Now, if the pipe is settled, does it tell you exactly where that is? Will this tell you exactly? It just tells you there is an obstruction.
Yeah.
But it could be a settled pipe, right?
Exactly, so for a belly in a pipe, where the pipe's holding water, that will register as an obstruction. But it won't give us a distance within the run.
But then you could send the camera down it?
So, just an overview, so we've been doing this for over 10 years now. Historically, 70 to 90% of our system comes back with a good, healthy grade. There's 10 to 30% that require some additional cleaning. Then 10% will require some additional investigation with the CCTV equipment. And then less than 1% of our system right now requires some engineering study, and that could be a line with a significant belly, could be a line that's got some cracks, things like that, so. Next. So just a 30,000 foot view. This is just the area of operations. This is everything that we've assessed throughout the entirety of our partnership with SL-RAP. Everything in orange is stuff that we've done. Everything that's green, yellow, or red in that main thoroughfare is stuff that we've assessed again this year. So after a few years of assessing the west side of town, we know that there's a lot of roots there. We know that there's a lot of drop manholes there. Anything north of 35th and west of 8400, that's more of a area that we know historically requires routine maintenance. So we don't assess that acoustically anymore. That just gets hit every year with the backflow flush truck and gets inspected every year with the CCTV. On the right, north quadrant of town, that's some of the more industrial areas or the trunk lines. Those trunk lines have so much flow that it interferes with the acoustics. So we use the acoustic assessment initially to map all the lines, and that way we can get input into our database, but we don't assess every pipe every year. We focus most of our time between 8,000 and 72, and then from 41 down to 2100. So, next.
Dallas, you were talking about possibly something that measures the flow in the pipe. Did we ever look into that? I thought it was like $8,000 to where the machine measures water going into this manhole, water passing this manhole, and you could tell by the flow.
Essentially, you're right. That's essentially what we were looking at. The equipment, to your point, was really expensive, and then it didn't give you a true gallons per minute or gallons per day flow rate. What it did was it measured the flow in the pipe. So if a 12-inch pipe is running 8 inches deep, it can extrapolate a flow rate based on that depth. And we were trying to decide at that point, how much of our flow is coming from the west side of town, how much of the flow is coming from the east side of town. And that was the intent with that equipment, to try to better understand where flows are coming from. Since then, we did do a 3-month demo with that equipment to try to better understand some of the stuff. With the new influent pump station that's going online at the treatment plant, now we've got individualized flow meters for the trunk line that's coming from the west side of town and the trunk line that's coming from the east side of town. So now we know exactly what flows are coming from which parts of the town.
So maybe it's a little premature because once we put the 8,000 west under 201, that should really help a lot, right, for the load?
Yeah, it should, and that was kind of the intent behind some of these capital improvement projects, so. What we're showing,
We just didn't know we'd hit a fiber optic line.
right. What we're showing here, Mr. Chairman and Board, is exactly what was assessed this year. The assessment just completed, so the neat thing for me is they create this dashboard, and you can see it's pretty intuitive. If a line comes back green, that means it's good. If a line comes back yellow, that means it's about medium. And then if the line comes back red, then we can alert, and we send the crews out right away to investigate. So think about the color system on a scale of 1 to 10, 7 to 10 would come back green. Anything from about 5 to 7 would be yellow, and then anything less than 5 would come back red. 4 or 5 would come back red. And that's kind of how we target our targeted cleaning. Next. So then at the end of the assessment, I get onto the dashboard and I can filter the results of every assessment, and I immediately go to anything that came back at 4 or less. And those red lines that you see on the map now are sections of the pipes that came back 4 or less. And so we send the guys out and we hit all these things. We would just consider those the required maintenance or the hot spots from the assessment. So that's a neat tool, right? Typically, when we're starting the flushing of the system, we'll start here at the office, 9200 or 35th, and we just work our way north and east. With this equipment and this technology, we're able to really target our flushing to the areas that require the immediate service, right? It takes us about 12 to 15 months to get all the way through the system. With this technology that we've implemented, if we're on the other side of 72 or on the west side of 8400, we might not get to these red sections for 6 to 8 months. So this gives us an opportunity to address any issues right away. The assessment takes about 2 weeks, and then we get an overview of the entire system. So,
What would be the major part of the reds? Would they be defective pipe? Would
not
they be
necessarily.
roots?
It could be the bellies, it could be the roots, it could be a little bit of TP and rag buildup in some of the manholes. It could be a drop manhole. We try to isolate anything that would cause an audible interference with the acoustics and not assess those. Sometimes based on the mapping, nothing's perfect. You might put the transmitter into a dead end manhole, so it's shooting to a run that's not there, so it could come back with a red. And that's part of the process. We try to eliminate any of those options and really try to guide them in this map. So
Do we need to send out any letters about what they can and can't put down the sewer? Because
We have
it
before,
says-
we certainly can
it
again.
said wipes are flushable, but they cause pipe buildup,
Yeah,
as the police department found out on Main Street.
yeah.
yeah, to Clint's point, we've sent out quite a bit of messaging. There's no flushable wipe. They're just all hazard, and they're just all liability. So, last slide here is just the summary. So, you can see there the bar graph represents what parts of the system came back green, yellow, and red. So we assessed in 2026 250,166 linear feet of sewer pipe. Of the assessed footage, only 38,750 came back as required immediate attention. And then if you break that down into $1 per linear foot, if we were to assess, or if we were to maintain the entirety of that 250,000 feet based on manpower and water usage, it'd be about $125,000. The targeted maintenance of the 38,000 feet, that's an estimate to only cost $25,000. So, quite a bit of savings there, but it also gives us the peace of mind that we're getting the snapshot of the entirety of the system rather than having to work through it over a calendar year. And then on the last page, we've got a couple new phases. Oh, excuse me. I just wanted to put this together. This is just a historical summary table. It shows each year since 2021, when I took over, how much linear feet we've assessed, and then how much has been identified for cleaning. You can see it fluctuates. We used to assess a lot more. Part of that is the new developments. We get them on mapping through these assessments. Some part of that was the learning curve. Hey, we don't need to assess 8,400 on the west side because of all the routes. We just know that requires significant maintenance. And then that center column, it just says each annual assessment, how much was identified for cleaning, and then the percentage of the system that required cleaning is on that far right-hand column. If you're looking at the data table, 2025 was a bit of an outlier. There was some equipment issues, and the contractor had some issues. We ended up meeting in the middle on a discounted price. So that's a little bit of an outlier. 2026, you can see that we're back to, a good trajectory, so. Key observations, just since we've been doing this, almost 2 million linear feet of sewer has been acoustically assessed. 2026 assessment identified less needs than the 2025, indicating good improvement year over year. And then the long-term assessment data continues to validate our targeted data-driven maintenance strategy, allowing maintenance resources to be focused where they provide the greatest benefit while improving overall efficiency of the collection system program. Then the last thing I would add, Mr. Chairman, is we've got a couple new faces on the collections crew, so I just wanted to recognize those guys. This is the 2026 Niagara Water District wastewater collection system crew.
They all got dark glasses. I need to see them on here.
Yeah, so.
They do, huh?
You should have the updated list.
Yeah.
You got the updated list.
I think I did.
I think
Yeah,
so.
you
At
did.
home.
Yeah, and I can call them out, just starting on the right is our newest guy, Cameron Peterson. Then we've got Mark Manzanares, he's about a 2 or 3 year guy, along with Quinn in the middle. He's a 2 or 3 year guy. And then Clint Giles, the supervisor, you guys all know him. Connor McReynolds, he's a 5 year guy, and then last pitcher is myself. And that's all I got for the wastewater, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Good.
Okay, let's moving on. Leal, your report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Board. So just a check up on our compliance requirements. After the board meeting last month, after the audit report was approved, we filed with the state auditor's office. So that was submitted and the certification was submitted. We haven't heard back, so I'm assuming there's no problems. Coming up, first of all, I guess blue is completed and yellow is coming up. Quarterly budget to actual reports will be provided to the Board of Trustees for second quarter next month. The transparency website, the second quarter is due July 31st, so we're working on that now. There's a semi-annual report to the State Money Management Council that's due by the end of this month. That was filed this morning. And then the quarter payroll reports are due at the end of this month also. We're working on those now. As Clint indicated in the manager's report, the CCR report has been submitted and sent out to the residents or our customers. Hanson Allen Luce is working on our risk management plan. Is that right? I think that's right. Okay, sorry. And then the water conservation plan, Ty's been working on that. He submitted a draft to the state on the 15th. And then I believe that the final draft has to be to them by December 31st. Great. And that's, as Ty indicated also, that Bowen Collins is working on our rate structures. So, and that is all I have to report, unless you have any questions.
Any question?
No.
Okay, thank you, Leal.
Thank you.
Let's move on to our HR report.
Thank you, Board Chair. As Clint indicated, we are currently still fully staffed. Some of the trainings that we were able to accomplish this last month is we had the Cassell work order training. Leal presented to all the employees a new process in doing work orders for maintenance on our facilities. We did a chlorine training tour at Thatcher Chemical with all of the people that come in contact with chlorine. I thought it was well put together by Thatcher and it went well. We did an excavation safety and trench shoring training on the 24th that Chris, Ty, Gene, Dawson, Mark, and Quinn attended. We did an on-site confined space training, had a company come in, show us some of their stuff, went over our gas monitors, and also did some confined space training. Upcoming, we've got our cybersecurity training this month. That's a required training. We've got some of our new employees getting their flagger certification at the end of the month, and we are getting geared up for some of our more senior employees to do their traffic control supervisor. This month, we're focusing on hand and power tools as our safety focus. And then conferences that are coming up, just so the board are aware of them. We've got AWDA annual conference coming up in September in Logan. as of right now, we don't have anybody to put forward to say that they're wanting to go, but we'll come with that probably next month if there are some. The UASD annual convention that the board attends is coming up sooner than we think. November 4th through the 6th. I believe you guys would be attending on the 5th. That's in Layton. And then that same week is the WEAU mid-year conference here locally at West Valley.
Where will that be in West Valley?
That's at the cultural center.
Oh, okay.
Usually Dallas and Bo attend that. And then the 4th of July parade, that went really well. From all reports, it's the best parade that everybody's ever been a part of there. It was bigger than ever, went smooth. We're really happy with the relationship that we've got with the city on that. And we've got some pictures here from the parade. We had Ty and Cameron walking, and we also had Gavin Henshaw there helping out with driving the truck. This was the banner that we put together, trying to remind everybody to conserve. So it says, securing tomorrow's water today, conserve, diversify, and reuse. I think it was an overall good experience. So that's it for me, Chairman.
And we as a city and me as the mayor, I want to thank you guys for participating and being involved. Next time, bring more candy.
I think
We on the float went through 13 boxes.
So we've upped the candy each year. I think the first year that I did it, we bought 8 bags. We went to 10. This year we did 12. And I think with how you're growing that parade,
Maybe that's what it is. We just can't get ahead of it.
we can't get ahead of it.
We had
Stop telling people to come.
we had probably 10 to 11,000 people there.
Wow.
And we had 85 entries. We had seven floats. I sit on a group with all the mayors, and so we kind of share things about our city. And I started to steal about, hey, you bring your float to ours, parade, we'll take our float to yours,
Yeah.
and so it all worked out good. Next year we'll have West Jordan and Riverton coming to ours, and we've got a big one on next Friday. Nathan, you riding on the float for the 24th?
No.
Where's that at?
Downtown, the days of 47.
You're going to be in that?
I'm debating just to send the float down.
I'm gonna be out of 10.
I know.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
We
so I want to
appreciate
thank
that
you guys,
relationship.
and it went really well. And like I said, they said that's the best float in 40 years.
Nice.
I've heard nothing but shining responses about it.
So it's nice to hear positive, and
Isn't it?
so. But yeah, thank you guys. That's all you have?
That's all I have.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks. Okay, let's move on to water sewer availability. Ty, I'll let you take the lead.
Thank you, Chairman and Board, for your time. So today we have 2 developments we need to discuss. They're wanting approval for water and sewer availability. First, we'll start off with ECU Holdings. Now, this one, probably just like goes to the map. This one is located at 2444 South and Caroline Drive in West Valley City. It takes up 2 lots along there, and I can show you on GIS. Right here, it's just along Anna Caroline Drive at 2400 South,
What west is that, Ty? What west is that?
northwest. It is just past,
It's gotta be about 5,700,
Just right off 201.
right,
right behind the UDOT building.
yeah, right by the, right here.
Oh, okay.
And this,
All these different names, huh?
2 of these lots right here, and
I thought it was a swamp.
with that, we determined that there are some facilities here that can supply that water. We have a 16-inch water line along Anna Caroline, which is just east of the development. We also have a 12-inch sewer main located in Anna Caroline that is just east of the development as well. We have, it doesn't show on the GIS, but we do have a 12-inch dry secondary line
What will that area be used for?
So I don't quite know, there's gonna be 2 buildings built. PC Holdings and WV7 will be doing it, those are the 2 companies.
How much water usage will it have to that?
It won't have an extraordinary amount, I don't believe it.
Maybe just bathrooms and warehouse?
Yeah, about, maybe, I don't know, probably 2 ERUs worth,
Okay.
I would say. And after analyzing that with fire flows, it looks great, so. Yeah, they just want to see approval for that.
Okay.
What we see happen a lot with these over there is they have just the building box. They don't tell us a lot of times what the final use will be in this step, unless it's obviously a high water user.
Yeah, like a bottling company or something like
But what we do see is we get another step of approval when they come and the tenant improvement comes in. They have to contact us again to get another approval.
So they're not applying here, they just want water and sewer availability, but when do they determine how big of a meter they need and stuff?
They do that.
Yeah,
We'll work through that with them. So that's how, one of the reasons we get an indication is size of services that they need.
they typically have a mechanical engineer do the calculations.
Yeah.
They give that to us and we determine the meter size.
Okay. Well, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve water and sewer availability to PC Holdings, WV-7 on Anna Caroline Drive, West Valley City.
I'll second that.
A motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Ty.
Next one, is Backus Plaza 2. So this one is located on 8400, it's 2790 south, 8400 west, kind of like a quick back.
Yeah.
You show you have GIS as well.
It's right behind Dollar, right?
Sorry, what was that?
Right behind Dollar.
On 8400? Okay.
So it's just this lot right here, 2790.
Oh, finally, they're gonna get rid of the weeds
Yeah, no kidding.
next to
Quick whack.
Quick Quack.
Well, so from what we determined, we found that there are existing services in that property.
Oh.
There will be 2 buildings though. For the water side, we have a 1-inch service that's located in the southwest corner. If you look right here, that's where we have that. And that's installed and everything, but it's not tied in, so they would have to go in and tie into that line for one of the buildings. And then with the other building, we recommend that they have to attach along the 8-inch line that's in Addison Lane, right there. With sewer, there is an 8-inch main that's currently going through the development on its west side there. With that, there is also a 4-inch cap off sewer lateral there that was placed there when we were originally developing that area. That would have to be located, I believe it is by the southwest as well on the property. It's not shown in GIS, but it's about there, I believe. So they'd use that for one of the buildings, but we would also recommend them also attaching a service lateral into the 8-inch line for the other building as well. For the secondary water, there is an 8-inch secondary water line that goes along 8400, and that's an active line, I believe. And so they would just have to tie in there, but there also is an existing service there that they can tie in, cover the whole development for irrigation purposes.
Now, Ty, that, on the west side, they're showing a green line there. Is that in an easement right away?
Yes.
Yes.
In the property?
It'd
Okay,
be a 20-foot.
okay.
And with that, show you guys. And yeah, it would just be 1 lot, 2 buildings. And that's the address of it. And they're seeking approval for those items.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve water and sewer availability to the Backus Plaza 2 located at 2790 South, 8400 West.
No, second that.
It's been motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, let's move on to the project awards and agreements. Clint?
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I'm gonna take these first two for Trevor. We've been working with Bowen Collins on that master planning, impact fee, and rate study. If you'll remember, we've completed the master planning and the impact fee portion. They've made substantial progress on the rate study, but we've got a task hit order here for an amendment because we did have some legislation come through that with regards to rate structures, including analyzing a conservation-based tier that's reflected in this amendment. And then we also have asked them to do some more rate modeling and give us some more impact on how different rate options would impact the community, because each way we approach rates has a varied impact. Some people benefit and some people lose when you change rate tiers, right?
I've had some complaint about that.
Yeah.
But I told them, if you're trying to conserve, you know, you need to check your water usage. It's not the water company's fault.
Right.
You've gone to another tier. You need to look at that and see if there's any way you can drop back down.
Right. And so the challenge is we want to be able to serve the people that use a low amount of water. Right now, they've got to pay that minimum, right? 6,000. We would like to see if we can remove that minimum so that they can pay less water. But if we do that, that benefits them, but then it has to put the burden of all that on others.
Higher usage.
And so what we are trying to do is understand how that would all work out with different scenarios so that we can then come to the board at that point and say, okay, we've looked at these scenarios. What would the board like to see? Here's our recommendation and that type. So we'd like to be able to do a little bit more of that modeling than we have normally historically done, because this is the direction it's heading at a lot of districts. It's getting more geared towards the tiers are tightening. There's getting more tiers where they're trying to get the cost of water dialed down as best they can for everybody. But ultimately, I think the more you use, the more you're gonna pay, you know?
Well, I think if we could get the city to code enforcement to jump on these people that not watering at all,
Yeah.
and if we do the thing to minimize that,
Yeah.
I think that will help.
So Nathan, I got a question with you on that. Can we as a city make them water?
So there've been, yeah, I mean, you have to maintain your yard.
Right.
And I think we already have provisions that require that. It sounds like there was some confusion with, because for instance, I just go off of the slow to flow watering guide, which I think now is like 2 or 3 waterings per week, depending
yeah,
on
they're
when you're on the type of landscaping you have. So I think we can, if we don't already have it in there, we can. So yeah, that's, maintaining your lawn, making sure you don't have weeds that grow, that sort of thing. But I know that there has been some legislation recently where what the legislature has said is there used to be cities that would prohibit like xeriscaping and water-wise landscaping. And so the legislature said, no, you have to allow people to put in water-wise landscaping. And so what the challenge is, some people will say, well, this is water-wise.
Yeah,
No, it's
yeah,
not.
that don't fly.
So I think we already have provisions in there already.
Right.
I think so too. I don't think you're allowed to have weeds. It has to
But I
be
think what
grass.
people are confused on is like,
How do accomplish
how many days a week? I mean, they've asked me and I've told them 2 to 3 days.
I think so.
Danny said 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
But two or three, even two is better than 0.
yeah.
No.
It's,
I think
I will say that when you're in over 100 degrees, to 2 days a week is pushing the limits.
Yeah.
Right.
If that goes on very long,
It's gonna do-
you can handle it for a week, but if that prolongs at those high temperatures, you can't get by with 2 days.
Nope, you can't.
Well, if we can reduce that rate on the low end, I think
Yeah.
people will try to do that.
One of the things too, it becomes a fire issue because they let the weeds, they let the grass all dry, it goes brown,
Yeah.
starts fires.
Well, the problem is if we hold them to task, some people don't even bother to see that they're wasting water. You know, and if they water at night when it's cooler, they don't waste water.
Right.
Or early in the morning. And I think, and they check and make sure the system's working and not just spraying over.
Go a little deeper, you know.
I've talked to a lot of people just checking their toilet tank, see if it's running over. And 9 times out of 10, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of this is really dealt with through education, right? And so, and part of it is, I think there might be some confusion about what they're hearing from other water providers. I mean, most people don't even necessarily know where they are.
It's a challenging time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think my recommendation would be you might want to either work with the city or do some outreach on your own to educate people
Just
about.
thinking about that, maybe we need to do an education
Yeah, because it's,
with the city and the water district.
I will say this, I mean, code enforcement, and Mayor, as you and I, it's a lose-lose. Wherever you set the needle on code enforcement, somebody's gonna be happy. If you go on the full bore enforcement, people are gonna be mad. If you don't enforce enough, people are gonna be mad. So what's usually more effective and quicker is educating people, because most people that are in a code enforcement situation, there's a reason why, and it's not usually something you can easily fix. But most people, it's just, oh, I just need to have information. You know, I don't think most people know when to water. I don't think that they're paying attention. Most people, they just want to set it and forget it. And the problem with a situation like we have now, it's a really dry year, hot temperatures. You know, I check that, you know, slow the flow guide every week to see where I need to set it. So I think you'll get more bang for your buck education-wise in terms of getting people to do what you want than you will by code enforcement. Not to say that you shouldn't do code enforcement, but code enforcement's a legal process. There's due process. You know, there's people have to have a certain amount of notice. Incidentally, it's not 30 days in the code. I don't know who told you
No,
that. It's 15. It's always been that way. We can talk about that offline, but I think that's just a policy practice call. But you know, by the time you know, you could just inform somebody and have them fix it that day. Whereas if you have to force them to do it, it's a whole big long process that could take the whole summer.
Oh, wow.
Because, you know, we have to give them a notice with a certain amount of time to comply. They have a legal right to appeal that notice, a lot do, and then it takes time to get it before the ALJ. I mean, it just,
The process.
it's a process. And it's a legal process, and a lot of it's mandated by state law. We don't have any ability to control.
And it costs more money than education.
Yeah. And most people are well-intentioned. Most people care. They want to do what's right.
We are finding, I think there's some sentiment too, if we push that message too hard, people are feeling like, well, it's all of the burdens getting put on to us, and what about all these data centers? And what about all of
That guy down the street.
what about the bigger, so we try to find a balance where we're not pounding them all the time with, you know, here you have to do this, or you should do this. So I think there is a balance. We try to find that needle, but certainly more education the better, I think, in general.
Well, we'll educate, we'll let the city
Yeah,
code enforcement.
right.
They can be the bad guy.
Yep, but,
Well, the district doesn't really have code enforcement authority
Right.
anyway.
Yeah.
so, as far as the rate study, that's with,
Coming in here.
we'd like to be able to finish that up by, like Ty said, by the end of the year. And so we'd recommend this task order for approval unless the board has any objections.
I'm good.
You make a motion
Yes.
on number one?
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion for Bowen and Collins Associate Amendment Task Order 24-2 for master planning impact fee and study amount of $15,814.
I'll second that.
Been motion, second, all in favor? Okay, Clint?
Okay, the next task order is for the bidding period and construction management services for the garden project with our Bone and Collins as our consultant. There is some additional signage that we've asked them to design. It would be more like central stations, some bigger signs, not just the individual
Not the little teeny ones.
This would be some bigger signage that would give some more information and have 6 spots where people could stop. So you'd have the main big sign at the back of this concrete signage that would give them the overview, and then we would have these stops along the way, and that's what this portion would be, to really flesh those out.
So
and
we
create
paying
an area.
Bone Collins to do the design in a CAD, so people bidding it just have to download it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
that saves a lot of money to
Saves a
those
lot of
people.
money.
Okay, so, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for Bone and Collins Associates scope and fee for additional signage design, bidding assistance, construction management services for the conservation garden project in amount not to exceed $28,696.
I'll second that.
Been motion second, all in favor? Aye. Kate Ellis?
Mr. Chairman, so this is our annual Duke's root control program. Just a reminder, this is the chemical that gets sprayed down the collection system. It's a foam, it just eats the roots that are attacking the collection system. We've been doing this for over 10 years. They've been a great partner. 2026, we're scheduled to do 9,646 linear feet. And we just go from manhole to manhole. One of the best things I like about Duke is they offer a 3-year warranty. So when they come out to do this roughly 10,000 feet, any work that they've done in the previous 3 years, if it needs another shot, then they'll do all that included.
Oh, good.
So it's just been a great partnership. If you'll notice on the quote, it came in just around 20,000. What we're asking for on an approval is not to exceed 25,000. Inevitably, as we get in there doing the maintenance, we always find something that we hadn't seen at the time the quote was generated. So we give ourselves a little bit of a buffer to get any stragglers. So if it's okay with the board, we'd like to proceed with this.
Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion, 2026 for Duke's annual chemical root control, the amount not to exceed 25,000.
I'll second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Andrew?
Yes, thank you, Board and Chair. We recently ran a fleet pricing estimate with Jerry Seiner, LHM, who had the state contract, as well as Ken Garth Ford, who had a state contract. Some of the things to note as we did this is we've had this current fleet coming up on 3 years, so we're just about out of warranty. And so that kind of makes you start looking at operational costs and maintenance costs of what's going to come, as well as tire replacement and things like that. As you can see on here, Jerry Seiner came in significantly cheaper than the state bid, which is pretty impressive. When we spoke with Ford, they did not have all the options we needed.
You know, that is
for,
so funny with Ford
fleet.
because they used to be where you couldn't, they had the best leasing and everything back in the day.
Yeah, they told me they went right away from anything small with the fleet. I said, okay, well, send me what you've got.
Good.
The other thing that we're looking at possibly doing is converting some of our half-ton pickups to Ford Colorados. That, as you can see, that gives you some cost savings of about $8,000 on the purchase price, but you're also looking at probably around 10 miles to the gallon increase with the Colorados for some of our more heavy users that
So
drive.
where would the four Colorados go to?
The 3 meter guys that probably are some of our bigger users on vehicle usage,
Okay,
And a Colorado uses more fuel than a half?
less fuel.
Oh, yeah,
less.
okay.
So I think the Colorados, you'd experience about 25 miles to the gallon.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
So that would be a big increase there. And then the other Colorado would go to the wastewater treatment plant for the lead. They'd still have the half ton to haul the pumps, but the lead would move to a Colorado.
okay.
But while on this discussion, if you look down to the next portion of that on the fleet buyback, just to give you a full picture of what it would be. They came out, it didn't get put in, I guess. So if you look at the, agenda, you can pull up the agenda, Ty. Should have a button there that'll take you straight back to agenda.
Oh, I see it, number 5.
Number 5 there. So Jerry Seiner came and gave us a quote on purchasing our fleet of $570,300. That's a difference of $141,555 from what the purchase price of the new fleet would be. If you look at that, that's basically a cost of this fleet over the last 36 months of $3,932, which breaks down to $231 per vehicle.
Wow, that's great.
Which you can't really beat. And so,
What's our limitation for mileage?
so there isn't one. These, it states a lease, but it's more of a lease through Zions. It's a little
Oh,
set up. It's more of a purchase.
well,
Yeah.
it says based on mileage, that's why I
Yeah.
just,
Oh, so based on mileage is,
for the bike.
if we hold off for 2 months, right, we're gonna accumulate mileage. And so the buyback price is gonna reflect any mileage that we use between now and a decision if that's where we go.
So do we have any of our vehicles over 36,000? Because I think they come with 12,000 miles a year.
Yeah, there's, I think 2. One of the half tons is just over 36 and one of the SUVs is around 40.
40.
So now we're gonna have to pay,
No, so it doesn't, we have no mileage limitation.
oh, so they're not gonna, okay,
No.
that's good then.
No, we have no mileage limitation.
Yeah, I will just highlight, we looked at this, was it a year and a half?
No,
2?
we looked at when the tariffs were first getting going in
It just didn't make sense.
early fall, and it didn't make sense.
But the only reason we hang on to stuff if it's not available for the new stuff, right?
Well, like I said, I think it didn't make sense. We actually didn't get the values that we were wanting to
Yes.
get. And this, I think like Andrew said, it's, the values are back. They're given more
Yeah.
again
Yeah,
for what we,
so for instance, the purchase of the new 1 tons is $52,000, and they're offering $46,000 for the 1 tons.
Wow.
And that's the middle grade one too, right?
What?
That's the middle grade of the 1500
Yes,
series.
it's
yeah,
the
'cause-
LTs.
The LT, yeah, okay.
That's good.
So first off, before we go any farther, I gotta look over to the money person. Can we do it?
I think if we set it up like we have in the past, they've set up the purchase agreement where if we were to trade them in after 3 years,
Right,
then
right.
it's a lower payment.
Right.
And then if we do decide to keep them, then it goes higher. But yeah, we should be okay if
Okay, because I wanna
we
make,
work it that way.
I wanna make sure, because you know me, how,
So currently,
Yeah.
the buyback puts us in the black on what we owe as well,
Good.
okay, so question.
significantly.
So question for you, so we're gonna go back to Fort Equinox,
Yes.
okay?
Chevy.
So the question I have here, and I'm just gonna be really upfront about this, have we went through and analyzed, I mean, because I don't wanna see extra trucks. I don't wanna see people having an extra truck just running around. You know what, I'm the mayor, plus I sit on this board. You know, we pay a lot of money in taxes here to the water district. I do not wanna see these, you know what, can we consolidate any of these vehicles? And I'm being really upfront honest, because I have had complaints that I see the guys running here and there. And of course, they don't know why they're running here and there. But I'm just saying, I see a lot of the time guys with 1 truck. And then I see a lot of guys when they're all ganged up in the service truck. So, I mean.
Yes, and part of the reason why you're seeing more people in the service truck is we have consolidated the fleet, and our maintenance, buildings maintenance operator has taken one of the construction vehicles and been operating with,
Hey, where's our GMC little truck at? I don't see it out and about being,
It gets used.
is it okay? Because I don't see it out anymore.
Ty drives it quite frequently.
Okay.
The EDR plant will use it at times.
They've kind of switched to using the other Chevy, the one from the
One of the things I think it'd be really smart to do is that big service truck, you know, it went home all week on call out to Erda. I think we need to be a little bit more wiser. I mean, that takes a lot of gas. We need to maybe switch, we need to be a
Have
little
them
bit,
take the Colorados on that call.
Yeah.
Or an SUV.
yeah, and it,
But that does affect response time. I mean, if they have all the, it's depending.
Yeah.
We could even have them take like Chris's truck. Chris's
Yeah.
truck would get a lot better gas mileage, and it has the majority of the tools that he could respond to an emergency with.
Yeah.
especially if you got a service truck out there that you don't have nowhere to really have safety. And you know, if the stuff gets stole off the bat, then what happens?
Yeah.
That comes with a hefty cost on us.
Yeah.
You're
no
correct.
heavy cost.
I think we need to be a little bit more wiser on what we take home. And when you say, well, they can respond faster, I don't know if I buy into that, but
Hey, Steve, you gotta design a telescoping
yes.
main shut-off valve that'll fit in less than an 8-foot bed.
Yeah.
We already did.
That's what he's using in his.
So,
But I just think we need to be a little bit more smarter on what we send our people home that's on call, because at the end of the day, it's a bunch of gas. It all comes back on us.
Gas a lot cheaper than diesel for sure,
And,
and better mileage.
but no, I mean, if we're watching what we're doing with these vehicles, I have no problem as the chair.
They were quite impressed with the care that was taken in them.
And
Well, and I'm very particular on them trucks being maintained, because it costs us a lot of money, and we as taxpayer pay for these vehicles.
100%.
I will just also say, we met with the insurance company, Glatfelter. They're the bigger national carrier. Olympus is our local rep. They did comment to us that they have not seen as clean of a vehicle record.
Well, we like that.
In their recent travels, they go out and meet with a bunch of different facilities, and they just highlighted that. And so I think that's kudos to the managers and.
Oh, I agree. I
employees.
really do appreciate them guys making,
Important to hear,
holding them, because you know what?
because that goes into this value as well. If they've been in.
If they've been
accidents-
beat, then they don't want to buy our vehicles back.
Yeah, but used vehicles are in high demand right now comparing to what new vehicles cost. So that's good.
Well, and at the end of the day, it all comes back to us three people. You guys don't get to hear it, we do.
Yep, we hear.
And I just want to make sure, again, I appreciate that, and there's no reason why, and I'm being honest, we can argue about all this, there's no reason that why these vehicles can't be cleaned once a week. We're not that busy that we can't clean our vehicles once a week.
We're in agreement with that.
Yeah.
So if the board's good, I'm good to move on it.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to proceed with the lease purchase, Jerry Steiner Chevrolet, $711,855. And that will be subject to change upon release.
Yeah, so the 27 models are coming out soon, and so if the 27 models come out before we had made this decision and the 26 were no longer available, then you'd see about a 2 to 4% increase, but I think we're probably within that limits.
So we're gonna do 26s or 27s?
26s. I think there's one, I think the Equinoxes have to be a 27, but I think the rest were still 26.
Okay.
And does the Equinox work out for you guys?
I think so. I think it gets good gas mileage, 28 to 30 miles to the gallon, and with the all-wheel drive, it's capable.
And they're really popular, as long as you do the oil changes.
Yes, Doyle.
Are any of these hybrids?
No,
No. We don't mess with that stuff, that's high maintenance. Okay, Danny,
Okay, let's move on
I make a
to,
motion.
okay, sorry, I'm moving ahead.
Go ahead.
I'll second it then.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, let's move on to administration.
number
We
5
need to-
as well.
we need to do
Number 5. Oh, sorry.
I jumped ahead and talked about 5, but we didn't do that one yet.
Okay, go
Mr.
for
Chairman,
it.
I'd like to make a motion to also approve the fleet buyback quote for $570,300, subject to change based on damage and mileage accrued or sell.
I'll second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye. Okay, now we,
Okay, now we're moving on, Clint. Sorry, I'm pushing this agenda fast. So, let's move on to you, number 1.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've got some comments that we made along with Nathan's. He's made the majority of the changes to this no-fault program. I think we're getting close to a really good product. He's also added an application that they could, people affected could put in and we can consider. I think one of the things, as we're working through one of these potential claims with a customer, one of the things that became apparent is they may submit, documentation for consideration in this program, but it's really important that, and Leisle's been noticing this, they might submit the estimate, right, from the insurance company or from the cleanup company, and that estimate is usually maybe based on if the insurance pays for it. Well, we've seen where they'll discount at 50% if the customer pays them directly, if the insurance won't cover it. So we want to make sure that we are only paying, this is to help out the customer, right? In a situation where it's not our fault and it potentially is not their fault. We don't want to be paying anything that's inflated. And so it really needs to be based on actual invoices that the customer gets instead of any estimated
Because then it'll be lower.
costs. So, and then if the customer contributes any labor, we really shouldn't be paying out because how do we quantify that? So I think we need to make sure that any labor costs have to also be invoices, or we can't pay for customer labor costs, because again, we're just trying to help them out, not have them pocket any money, right? And wanted to make sure the board was supportive of that. Adding, if we have to add anything, that was just this morning's discussion.
Great.
So,
So spot in here for receipts.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to.
Wait, there is one.
and then one more thing, if Nathan wants to add anything else, the value, the total limit, if we want to set a limit, there was $10,000 discussed. I think we probably should, I would recommend raising that just to give the board the flexibility to be able to cover the costs, the closer to the truer costs. And, often no-fault programs are already defaulted at 5,000. So going to 10,000 doesn't give a whole lot more than maybe a standard default.
Do
So
we know what a standard, anybody, I mean, of course, they all range at different, different flooding
What's been
and
the range that we've.
what has been the range? What has been the range that
I
we,
would recommend you land somewhere around $30,000 for this.
okay,
I think it's probably going to be on the lower end of an insurance estimate,
But it gives you some latitude.
and it's probably maybe on the higher end of what actual costs might be if we're not paying, if they do some of
35.
the.
Huh?
I think I'd go 35.
Yeah, and there's argument for that too, so.
Yeah, it just gives us a little.
But it
more.
gives you a little more
Latitude.
room. So whatever the board feels comfortable there. It's one of those things, the more that you set the limit to, the more potential you'll pay out. But if we're really narrowing it down to just actual
Voices
costs,
line, it should stay.
you don't want to put it too low, because then you can't cover that, if that's the intent.
Right.
If you go super high, people might get dollar signs in their eyes, so.
Of course.
I think that would be a good recommendation.
So it's set in right here at 10?
No, it's blank.
Blank, we gotta fill it
I
in.
put together a draft and I just literally threw $10,000 in. And so I asked Leisle to take the number out so the board could make a decision today or whenever it approves this as to what amount you want. Because I don't know what that amount should be.
Yeah, it was a good starting point for discussion.
My recommendation would be 35, but I'm just throwing that out there.
So if you were to approve it today, you'd have to approve it, and in the motion, you would say, I approve this resolution, subject to including X as the amount of money for the threshold. And just as a reminder, the way this is structured, that's a lifetime payout amount.
Right.
Because we don't want somebody coming in saying, getting 35,000 one year and then coming back the next year. We are not, one of the things I was concerned about in drafting this is, you are not an insurance company.
Right.
And part of what Leal and I talked about, and I've added this in that language for fault, is what I don't want is people to just go and get the cheapest possible insurance, which will cover these things, and then use you as the backup. Yeah. Because that's not fair for the residents that have listened to your recommendations and have gotten adequate insurance, because then they're effectively subsidizing the people that have gone really cheap and haven't gotten the adequate policy. So you had asked me to flesh out what fault means, and one of the things I've put is disregarded district recommendations. So if you've done education stuff in your billing and you've said, do X, Y, and Z, and they've completely ignored that, that's not fair to the people that have gone, spent the cost and the time to prevent the problem from happening. So again, this gets back to being no fault.
Does 35 sound okay to you?
I think that sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Did you have any other
No,
comments?
that was it. So in it, you'll see, I did put together an application form,
I thought that was good.
and that's based somewhat on the kind of notice of claim that people would file in a normal lawsuit. But one document that we would need to make if you pass this, and there's authorization in the resolution to let staff do this if you're okay, is the waiver agreement we'd have people sign. Because I don't want someone to come in, say, woe is me, get paid, and then turn around and sue us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I can see that happening, so.
Yeah, so that's a condition that's always been here. That's the one document we haven't prepared, but I didn't want to prepare that before you know you're approving it.
We make a motion on it today? or
Yes.
wait
Yeah,
till-
no, the motion's drafted right now, that you would approve it. We'll add in the 35,000 if that's the
Okay.
number you want.
On exhibit
You'll
one.
approve the application form, but it's also authorizing Leal and me and Clint to prepare the waiver agreement.
Okay.
If you want to see that, we can bring that back.
I'm fine, you know what, I
I
believe
didn't
it.
think you wanted to be involved with that.
No,
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2026-05 Magna Water District No Fault Culinary Water and Sewer Failure Reimbursement Program with the change of Exhibit 1 to 7.2.6 to 35,000 maximum limit, and approve the waiver.
the waiver.
No, that's already in there.
That- the
The
waiver's in
resolution,
there.
it's already drafted in there. So you would just say, I move to
Yeah.
approve the resolution as drafted, subject to increasing the threshold to $35,000.
Okay, I got
That's all you need to do.
okay, we got that.
The 35, okay, yeah, you
Yeah,
did,
sorry,
okay.
did it.
And I'll second that.
It's been motion second, all in favor? Aye.
Okay, now, Leo.
Leal?
So I wanted to have a discussion or just a little bit of guidance for the election. There's one code section that says we should have a voting day election location in every precinct in the jurisdiction. Well, we have like 12 little precincts, so we're not gonna have 12 voting. In the past, we had 3 voting day physical locations. And then another code section says 1 or more polling places. So my thoughts are maybe we could have the physical voting location on voting day here at the office. And then we would only have to have 3 polling judges. If we have more than 1 location, then we have to have 3 judges per location. If that's the case, then I needed a way to find judges. And Clint and I were talking, I asked him if we could put it on Facebook and see if anybody volunteered.
Have you done in
But
the past? Yeah.
in the past, years ago, the county would give us a list of people that had volunteered to be polling judges, but they said they don't have that now. They don't have a list. So it was kind of,
Yeah, I think if you guys have any concerns, we want to make sure that's fair. obviously, and that they have experience or.
Yeah, there are some qualifications in Utah code that polling judges have to have. Of course, I think it's just to be a resident of the district, US citizen, those types, so it's not really too bad of requirements to be a judge, but
I'd say do it the way you've proposed right now.
Okay.
Don't you think, Nick?
Just, you know what, I'm not gonna comment on it because
Okay.
I'm running, so.
no, that's true.
I'm gonna stay out of that. So whatever you feel that you need to do,
Oh, we still need
you've
to
got
approve it.
Danny to
We still,
ask Danny what he thinks.
okay.
We're really hoping that,
What's
you
your
know,
recommendation?
my recommendation is to maybe have two polling locations in person that day.
Okay.
One here and maybe one
Did you do it
at a
library?
school where the county's gonna be.
Okay.
So that there's two, you know, if they go to one place, at least they can vote on us if they want to. So that would mean I'd need 6 judges. So if we could,
Can
Maybe.
those be all employees?
I don't believe they can be all employees.
Because the employees would have to be living here.
Can any of them be employees? Like Mandy lives within the district, right? So could,
Yeah,
Do we want that?
we never have had employees be the judges.
I think it'd be better to not have employees be the judges. I just, regardless of what the law
'Cause
says,
there's
just the optics of
requirements.
that, like, you
So
don't wanna
we
have
have to
somebody
open
win
it
and
up.
say, well, it's because their employees were.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things is you could ask, there's one that used to do it a long time ago. Her name's Annabeth Meekum.
Is she still around?
That's
She's
what I was
still
gonna
around.
say.
Yeah.
And
We
she
had
could-
Annabeth do our,
Right,
every
you know
time.
what,
She
you
was
could
really
ask her,
good.
maybe she could find you some people.
Yeah.
That's just what I was gonna say. You get hold of Annabeth and she would
And-
find,
Okay,
That's just a recommendation, I'm not saying, just so you know that for the record.
that's fine.
I'll make that recommendation, because Annabeth will do a good job.
Well, I know, she
You have
did
to be
do our
careful on that
elections
stuff.
every time we did it, and she's really good at it, so I just didn't know if she was still around or not.
She is.
So there are different types of judges. Are we talking about the election judges that are at the polling place?
Polling location,
Not the ones counting it?
No.
in the
Both,
past, they did it all.
Yeah, because there's like 3 separate classifications of it. But, yeah.
In
it-
the past, the polls would close at 8 o'clock, and those 3 judges and myself would count the votes right after it
Yeah.
closed.
I mean, I think the safest would be to put an open call for it. We need this many. Respond to us if you're interested by this date. If we can't get enough, then we move on to asking individuals. I mean, does that sound like a reasonable, fair?
Yeah, I think so.
Plan.
I don't think, there's not a lot of qualifications in the code, but
No,
it's
there's
just
not.
whoever's appointed. But I would say, especially given the focus and the concerns about the integrity of elections over recent years, you
Yes.
just want to
I think that's
avoid
why we haven't
just the
done
optics of
employees.
having someone that's connected. I mean, I think some
Will you
people used
take
to
one,
pay
pass down?
for judges too.
Yeah, we might have to get to that point.
What was that, I'm sorry?
Pay have,
We did, in the past, we paid them like, it was minimal, but it was, I think, $30 to $50 for the day.
Probably to get enough interest, we might need to do that.
yeah, I kind of feel like if you have to pay for judges that are unaffiliated with the district, that's probably money well spent just to avoid the appearance.
Yeah, we treated our judges very well that day. We ran our butts off, but we treated them really well.
Made sure they have food.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is just a picture of our ballot box that's been ordered.
Right? Oh, did we buy that box? Wow.
They're expensive. We bought 2 of them.
They're required by law.
Yeah.
It's not optional.
No,
We had Steve make them.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. I probably could have. But no, they're secure. It's called American,
What's this too?
I can't remember who it is, sorry. American Cabinet. Anyway, they do, I couldn't find hardly anybody that did
Make
ballot
them so they don't
boxes.
get pulled up and walk.
Well, they've got special bolts that go with these apparently, according to Leal.
Yeah, you had to buy the bolts to secure it separately, and one package of bolts was $400
Where do you mount it?
That's
in the
Screwed into the
cement.
concrete mounted.
Yeah,
Where?
In concrete.
Well, I
So
know
We're gonna
in
put ours
concrete,
right inside here, right?
Well, that's the next discussion. So
Yeah,
Because
we need to have one theoretically, or
well,
one in,
we can use our Dropbox for one of
Right.
them. And then Clint and I were thinking maybe the Webster Center or the library,
Library.
but the county's gonna have
Can't
theirs.
have it at the Webster Center, cause we're remodeling, no,
Oh.
just kidding, I'm just kidding,
And
yeah.
keep in mind, I haven't asked permission yet either. But, the
about the
county's
senior
gonna have one of their ballots boxes at the library. So we could have ours
Next
kinda by it.
ask permission. We think just go by where the existing ones are
yeah,
for the other election.
And then they're gonna have another at West Valley City Hall. I don't know if we can put one there, I'd have
Is
to
that
find
something
out.
that we
but-
can approach their leadership to maybe, because it, like we said, we're gonna have to anchor them into concrete, so when we remove them, we'll have to patch those
that's not-
anchors or,
we can actually put, well, I don't know what their anchors are, but usually you just cut them off and
yeah,
patch it.
Oh.
What about the Senior Citizen Center?
yeah, that's
Are they
another
gonna
option.
have voting box there?
We ordered 2 of them,
Okay.
so we'd have 2, and then
I would
this
do
one, that would
that
be
before I do
3.
West Valley City. There could be some confusion at West Valley City,
Well,
but
the bad thing is you got people over in West Valley.
Yeah,
that's
they
voting.
wanna make sure you've
Yeah.
represented both.
And I think there's some requirements about it within, Lee Isle have had these discussions about, district boundaries. It's a little ambiguous. Remember that discussion we had about where we had to locate the polling places?
Yeah, I've read that code.
So this will be all in
400
person,
times,
not
but
by mail, right?
It is
Dropbox,
by
yeah.
mail.
These are, so you have to have, it's the drop boxes that have to
Okay,
be in different
okay, okay,
locations.
okay.
The
Um,
mail would go to our PO box still, right?
Yeah.
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 So basically, you got 3 things. You got the mail-in ballots, you have the people that are gonna come in person, that's where you need the judges, and you've got the drop boxes.
Yeah.
And they're
And the
different.
judges are for voting day.
Yeah, they're for the people that are coming in to make sure that somebody's not committing fraud.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then, I think that's it. Okay.
So if you're okay with generally that direction, we'll proceed.
so it says
Danny?
no action taken.
What?
You okay with that?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think we need any action on it.
Yeah, they're just asking for direction.
Yeah, I just wanted, I talked about getting judges and
Okay.
didn't know
good to be
if
clear on
Facebook
it,
would be
you
good or
know.
not, but,
Good to be
cool,
clear.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Leal, the next one's yours.
So currently Magna Water has a third-party company called Express Bill Pay that our customers pay their bills online. There's been a purchase or a sale of Express Bill Pay by a competitor of Casel's. Now, instead of those 2 entities working together, they're now competitors. And so Casell is no longer going to support Express the way that they are supported now. Express has come up with a way where if we don't want to leave Express Bill Pay, we don't have to. But after seeing this Casell Community Portal, it is more robust, a little more user-friendly. In long story short, it's a really nice application. Our accounting software is already with Casell. Right now, if someone goes on to Express Bill Pay and makes a payment and then looks at their bill, they can't see that they made the payment. It takes at least 24 hours. This Casell Community Portal is real-time. They make the payment, they toggle back over to their bill, they can see the payment, their balance, anyway.
It's a lot easier.
It's not all that's with this portal, but I just wanted to introduce it to you. Ty's gonna play a video, I'm hoping, that kind of introduces it. My suggestion is we roll this out slowly because Magna Water's gonna have their AMI portal. Then if we make this change, I think it'll kind of be really boggle down our customers. And our AMI people are working with Casell so that they can streamline it, and our customer will only have to have one sign-on. And they can toggle back and forth from our AMI portal to their payment portal.
That will be a lot easier.
I think the concern we have is there's other districts that have made this transition from express bill pay, and it's created a lot of frustration from the customers. So we want to avoid that situation
As much as
as
possible.
much as we could. I think it was probably rushed, but I think what I would say to that is we might want to provide both platforms for a transitional period.
And that's doable.
I think it would be worth the expense to make sure, because nothing frustrates a customer more than not seeing their payment reflected or thinking it's gonna be made automatically and it's not. And we would want to avoid all of that as much as we can, so.
So yeah, play it if you would.
Sometimes after you've been hooked up for a minute, the sound.
Online. While we're focused. Hi, and welcome to this Community Connect video. Today we're checking out the Community Connect portal, your one-stop shop for interacting with your community online. While we're focusing on utility billing today, remember you can also use this portal for building permits, business licenses, animal licenses, accounts receivables, and much more. Casel's new payment solution is designed, developed, and supported by Casel. Join us on this tour to explore. Tailored theming and customization. Unique theming and customization specific to your organization. Effortless payments. Enable your customers to make payments on their account with ease. Real-time account insights. Access current and past bills, consumption graphs, and more. Notifications. Keep your customers informed with timely emails and text alerts. Seamless integration. Enjoy real-time posting of payments directly into Casel's utility billing. Accurate reconciliation. Ensure deposits align exactly with your bank reconciliation. And much more. When you first visit the site, you'll notice it's personalized for your community. Your community gets its own unique web address. Your logo appears right on the login screen. The background can feature an image from your community. Even the colors can match your community's branding. If a customer needs to make a quick payment without logging in, no problem. Just hit the Pay Now button on the login screen. A customer can pay their utility bill or make other payments without creating an account. Simply select what you're paying for, enter your customer number, and you're on your way. This drives more adoption for those who want to pay online but don't want to sign up. More payments made online means less work for you and your team. We encourage customers to create accounts to take advantage of numerous benefits for both themselves and their utility. The customer will see past bills, can track usage, get email and text alerts about new bills or bills coming due, and much more. This means fewer delinquencies and fewer calls to your office. Setting up an account is quite easy. A customer can use their existing Google or Apple account, or create a new account with their personal email. Link their utility account once they're set up. Set up autopay if they'd like. Once logged in, customers will see a clear summary of what they owe and what's coming due. Click on Utility Bill to see Service Address, Current Amount Due and Due Date, Recent Payment Information, Quick link to view their latest bill. On the right side of the screen, there are other options. Allow customers to enroll in paperless billing, cutting down on your utility form and postage costs. Customers can set up autopay for fewer late payments and delinquencies to deal with. Additionally, customers can specify a maximum amount for autopay, giving them the peace of mind that a payment out of their expected range won't happen. Customers can save payment methods securely in their wallet for easy and quick payments. Link additional accounts if a customer has more than one. For example, landlords can link all of their rental properties to their login to make sure tenants are paying on time. Customers can view their utility bills and payments by clicking on any View hyperlink. They can also click on any amount to see the breakdown of the bill. No more calling into the office to request copies of previous utility bills. We've made it easy for customers to view their consumption patterns, which helps reduce the number of calls from customers regarding high bills. View side-by-side graphs of your usage over the last 3 years. See a breakdown of your bill by service. Track how your usage changes seasonally. You can also use communications for important announcements, like a water main break, or to disseminate information that would normally come as bill inserts, such as newsletters or rate changes. These communications will also be emailed or texted to your customers. Ready to pay? Just click Make Payment, and the customer can pay the amount due or choose how much to pay. Choose from payment options, including credit card, checking account, or savings account. Submitting the payment will post in real time to Casel's cash receipting and utility billing. Bank reconciliation is made easy with our portal. You can use the administrative tools in the portal to see how deposits posted for the day match up perfectly one-to-one to your bank reconciliation in Casel. All payments for the day will be deposited together into your bank account. We hope this tour helps you get the most out of Community Connect. There's plenty more to explore beyond what we've covered today.
That's just a little blurb of what it kind of looks like.
Leal, who does the customer service on this program if it hangs? up?
Casel, so it's the exact same people that we have our accounting software
How much
software
more
with now.
inputting is it for us to do?
How much what?
More inputting for us?
Less.
Less.
It's less, but we use forms on our website right now where a new customer can go to our website and sign an application card, and they submit the information that we need so that we could set them up in our billing. We can get rid of that service because it's in this portal. So that'll be a cost reduction because we pay for that service. It kind of looks like it does some things that Yopify does as far as notification, but it's not to the degree Yopify is. Yopify has a map. So if there's an area that we're turning off because of a leak or something, this one doesn't have a map, it just has our customer list. So it's a little bit of duplication of Yopify, but not entirely.
But we're staying with Yopify.
Yeah, because Yopify is gonna be doing our AMI, our meter information, so. But it won't be a rush, do it tomorrow kind of thing, we'll just roll it out slowly.
Informational at this time.
Yeah.
We'd bring it back with costs.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all I have, thank you.
Okay, so our next board meeting will be August 13th at 10 o'clock here. So we're in need of a closed door. Someone want to make a motion to close the open?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to take a brief recess and immediately following meet in closed meeting to discuss the purchase, exchange, lease, or sale of real property, including any form of water right, water shares, pending reasonable imminent litigation, and collective bargaining issued pursuant to Utah Code and 52-4-204 through 205. It is
11:43.
42.
Second that.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye. Okay,
It is
12:50.
It is 12:50. We're needing a motion to close the close and open the open.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to close the close and reopen the open meeting.
I'll second it.
In motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we have anything else that needs to be addressed other than Danny's 80th birthday?
Congratulations.
So someone wants to make a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
In motion second, all in favor?
Aye.